Ugh, I swear, Carter always calls me the second I step away from my phone. Oh, now that's a welcome surprise. I must say, you're not who I expected to see calling at this hour. You sure you dialed the right number, hun? If you wanted to hang up, you would have done so already. So, why don't you tell me why you're calling? That depends. Is there a reason why I should clear my schedule instead? Come on, hun. Spit it out for me. How was that so hard to say? What do you need help with? Is this something I need to get ready for right this second? I'm not wearing much at the moment. Just a bra paired with some joggers. It's not like I need to cover up in the privacy of my home. That said, there's always room for me to show off more skin. Is there a reason why you're asking? Come on, hun. Believe it or not, foreplay takes two. Ugh, of all the times. I don't suppose you're on the other side of my door wearing something that'll be on my floor within minutes, are you? Give me a sec to see who's here, alright? If you need my attention that badly, prove it and give me a chance to get the door. You know, I didn't take you for the semantics type, but if that's what you have to tell yourself, go right ahead. Actually, can I call you back, hun? Cool. I'll hit you up later. I know it's been a while since we last crossed paths, but Val, have you gotten taller? No, not that I'm aware of. Guess it's the doorframe then. Regardless, it's good to see you. Do you want to talk right here, or? No, I'd rather take this conversation inside, if that's all right with you. That's fine by me. Come on in. Thank you. I don't suppose you're here for a consultation? I feel like I would have remembered seeing your name. No. Or, not exactly. I didn't submit a request to your pack, I mean. Did someone from my pack pass along my address? As far as I'm aware, we've never spent a night together, let alone at my place. Nevea, actually. I went by the den initially, looking for you, but they said you had left and suggested I try coming here. Then how'd you know I was home? I could smell you when I got here. I'm sorry. It's the honest answer. Hey, you don't have to apologize. Can't exactly turn off your senses. I know that as well as you do. But I have a feeling you're not here to talk biology. So, what can I do for you, Val? You, your pack looks after things around the city, right? You keep tabs on people, groups, that sort of thing. To a certain degree, yes. We've got connections all over, and having up-to-date information is important when maintaining said connections. We may not always be the first to know something, but it doesn't take long for it to reach our ears. Oh, so you already know that I'm a crown? Yeah, it's kind of hard to hide that at this point. You've been the talk of the city for a while now, and I don't mean exclusively in vampiric circles either. I don't understand. If so many people are talking about me, then why haven't I been approached? It's not like I stay inside most days. My guess? It's got something to do with the fact that most people don't actually know who you are. At this point, you're still a name to most. I just happen to have the luxury of putting said name to a face. But your pack never reached out since I've taken on the title. You would have had an advantage over everyone else. Why didn't you? Carter and I discussed it once, maybe a month after we'd heard confirmation of your title. Ultimately, we decided against approaching you as a precaution. We weren't sure if you even wanted that kind of attention, and we figured we could wait until you got settled into the position. Or, in this case, approached us first. I see. Could I ask you something? Specifically from your perspective as the beta of your pack? Sure. What is it? What are dynasties like? I mean, I think you know better than I do. No, I mean, what are other dynasties like? You've seen them, work with them, talk to them, even. I want to know what they're like. Well, I've had my fair share of interactions with them through pack work and in my off time. The thing about dynasties, even the more casual ones, is they're influenced by their crowns, whether that's in terms of structure, how they present themselves, or even the views they hold in some cases. In my experience, crowns determine if I enjoy interacting with certain dynasties. What are the crowns you, do enjoy like? Are their dynasties similar? Not at all. I'm not sure I follow. If I were to compare a few off the top of my head, let's start with House of Monroe. While Desiree is one of the more well-known crowns in the city, they're very selective about the company allowed into their circle. Any vampire added to their dynasty has to receive a recommendation from a current member, and that's before getting interviewed and approved by Desiree. They use their status to look after the vampires in their dynasty, which is how things tend to go. But that's not always the case. Take House of Vigilance, for example. I don't think I'm familiar with that dynasty. Who's their crown? Galan Bishop. She's arguably one of the most divisive vampires in Notarum, which is a reputation she wears with pride. If her last name is Bishop, then why Vigilance? Lonnie's garnered the reputation she has because of her dynasty's willingness to harm fellow vampires. As she's explained it, she's got a personal aversion towards those who abuse their powers as a show of control over others. In the event she's compelled to act, her dynasty tracks down the vampire in question so they can return the favor, so to speak. And sometimes that includes digging fangs into another vampire's skin. So they, feed on other vampires? That depends on your definition of feeding. In terms of actual sustenance, no. A vampire can't satiate their body with vampire blood unless it's their maker's. If you try otherwise, your body would physically reject it at some point. That said, there are temporary benefits. One's Kalan feels outweigh the drawbacks if it means other vampires will think twice before crossing her. But I bring her up to highlight the differences dynasties can have. It's rare to see a shift in membership, so House of Vigilance is considered a closed dynasty. Are there open dynasties as well? Yeah, there's quite a few actually. Are you familiar with House of Bakir? No, I don't think so. Rashid has what I'd consider a rotating dynasty, for lack of a better word. He offers refuge and support to any vampires passing through Notarum. Whether that's one night or a few months, his estate is open to those who need resources but have nowhere else to go. House of Bakir is also known for its work regarding sun sickness. Their rescue and recovery efforts have saved more lives than most people realize. There's really no limit to what a dynasty can look like. Speaking of, what do you have planned for House of Rhodes? I'm so sorry. Sorry, what did you say? I asked about your dynasty, but is everything okay? You've been tugging on the hem of your sleeve for a while now. Fuck, sorry. I'll stop doing that. Hey, no, I'm not saying that to make you stop or anything. Do whatever you need to, that's fine. It's just, you seem upset. No, it's nothing. I'm sorry, I'm fine. Val, something's clearly wrong. What is it? I don't know what I'm doing. What do you mean? I don't know the first thing about being a crown, Serena. I've had the title for months now, but I've barely done anything with it. I'm supposed to be responsible for all these vampires all of a sudden, but I don't even know what I should do. You can do what comes naturally. None of this comes naturally, though. I'm not good at this sort of thing. They're all counting on me to lead them, and I can barely manage to look after myself. I'm one of the youngest vampires there in terms of time spent turned. What right do I have to tell them anything? They chose you as their crown, Val. Because no one else tried to take the title. They didn't want me. They wanted to fill a vacancy. And I just so happened to be an option. It's not the same as being chosen. Even so, you were still appointed as crown. They wouldn't have made that decision if they didn't trust you. But what if that trust is misplaced? They barely know me. I barely know them. For all I know, Talia vouching for me is the only reason they're taking this kind of risk. They have no idea how bad I am at being a vampire, about all the ways I've fucked up since I got turned. That's not true. Serena, you're walking proof of that. Look at your side. It's my fault you have those scars. That was years ago, Val. I swear I've never harbored any ill feelings towards you because of that night. These things happen. Blanking doesn't happen overnight. We both know that. I let my pride get the best of me, and that could have killed you. I can't afford to make those kind of mistakes again. They're counting on me to be better. Why did you become a crown? What? We may not know each other intimately, but you don't seem like the type to do things without reason. So, why did you take this on? Because I wanted to protect the people I care about. And I know that I can't do that by myself. A pair of fangs can only get you so far, and that's if you know how to use them properly. It's not that I'm trying to reject the title now. I took it on willingly, and I want to be able to do something good with this newfound responsibility. But what if I was wrong to think that? I'm not wealthy, Serena. Not like Desiree or some of the other crowns in the city. I work nights as a florist. I don't have the resources to support that many people financially. I've only heard anecdotes about what the dynasty was like when Atlas was still alive, but I feel like I'm never gonna live up to that. I'm never gonna be him. I certainly hope not. What? Val, you didn't become a crown so you could become a carbon copy of someone else. Even if you tried to, you said it yourself, you'd never live up to it. Which is exactly why you shouldn't keep trying to. When it comes down to it, a title is nothing more than an identifier. It doesn't erase who you are, and that's what your dynasty needs, not another Atlas. I still kind of wish there was a set of rules I could follow. It'd be easier than stumbling through all of this. I can imagine. I'm, sorry for bringing all of this to you. I'm sure you have plenty on your plate as is. You didn't need me adding to that. Val, if I had an issue with you being here, I would have told you to leave by now. I know how to use my words, I assure you. Right. I think, I'm gonna propose a name change to the dynasty. I've been thinking it over a lot recently. Is that so? Does that mean I should expect to hear stories about House of Holloway soon? Actually, I was thinking of going with House of Reprise. It feels more like me. Unless that doesn't sound good. I haven't really, No, I like it. It suits you nicely. Thanks. Have you had a chance to meet any other crowns at any point since you returned? No, I haven't. A few sent invitations, but I hadn't accepted any yet. You could always start there. My pack would be more than willing to coordinate something on your behalf if you'd like. I can't ask you to do that. I've already taken up so much of your time as is, and it's clear you've had a lot on your mind. Your dynasty doesn't exist in a vacuum, you know. You're allowed to turn to people for help. I know that. Mostly. Look, I won't keep you if you'd like to leave. But if you've got more that you want to get off your chest, or you want to hear more about the aid my pack can offer, you're welcome to stay. It's all up to you, really. And if you try and say something about not deserving the help, feel free to chalk up my offer to me doing my job, whatever you have to tell yourself. I think I'd like to stay and talk some more. At least until I have to go. I do have a shift tonight. What is it? Sorry. It's just, you said shift, and I couldn't help but laugh at the irony. But ignore me. Is there anything I can get you while you're here? I don't suppose you have a blood bag on hand. Do you have a blood type preference? Oh, you're serious. I didn't think you'd, do most shifters keep blood like that? I keep it in case of an emergency. The pack works with vampires regularly, so it doesn't hurt to have blood on standby. I see. In that case, could I actually have some blood while I'm here? Come on, let's go talk over food.